Diddy Combs was back in court today to be arraigned on 2 additional charges. The music mogul now facing numerous charges, including sex trafficking. His trial is due to begin in May, and Alice Gaynor was in court and has more now on why that date could get pushed again.
Ever wonder what happens when a billion-dollar empire crumbles into a 7x9 cell? Sean Diddy Combs has gone from private jets and champagne to a nightmare reality at Brooklyn's infamous Metropolitan Detention Center, a facility so brutal it's been called barbaric by former inmates and federal investigators alike. Today, we're taking you inside the walls where Diddy's been locked up since September, revealing how the music mogul's appearance has drastically changed, with court sketches showing him completely grey-haired and noticeably thinner. The man who once had everything now shares a unit with 20 other inmates, wearing standard-issue uniforms while fighting serious sex trafficking charges. The question is, can someone who built an empire survive its collapse? Imagine waking up every day to fluorescent lights flickering overhead, the sound of metal bars clanking, and freezing cold air seeping into your skin. That's the daily reality inside the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, a facility notorious for its overcrowding, inadequate medical care, and shocking lack of basic resources. It's not just the stories that make MDC infamous, it's the decades of documented abuse, neglect, and federal investigations that have painted a grim picture of life behind its walls. This is the harsh world Sean Diddy Combs now calls home, a place so far removed from the luxury mansions and private island parties he once enjoyed that it almost seems unreal. MDC has long been under intense scrutiny. In 2019, a power outage during the height of winter left inmates shivering for days without heat, an incident that sparked a firestorm of outrage from advocates and public officials alike. Reports of rodent infestations, inhumane food conditions, and instances of cruel treatment by staff have plagued the detention center, earning it an atrocious reputation. Former inmates have described MDC as a place where basic human dignity is stripped away. And for Diddy, a man whose life is defined by glitz, glamour, and exclusivity, being thrust into this environment is almost incomprehensible. Think about it. For years, Diddy's biggest challenges revolved around managing his music empire, maintaining his cultural legacy, and curating his luxury lifestyle. Now he's sharing a dormitory-style unit with around 20 other inmates. The same man who used to glide through life in tailored suits is now wearing a standard brown uniform, standing in line for communal meals served on plastic trays. The unit where he's being held, situated on 4 North at MDC, is somewhat less restrictive than others, offering very basic amenities like a microwave, a couple of communal televisions, and a sparse gym with scarcely functioning equipment. But make no mistake, these small privileges don't even begin to soften the stark, grueling conditions of the facility as a whole. This is a place where access to medical care is anything but guaranteed. Numerous reports have highlighted cases of inmates experiencing severe medical neglect, from delayed treatments to outright denial of necessary care. And health is only one layer of the struggle. Diddy's access to the outside world has been slashed to the bare minimum. He's allowed restricted phone calls that don't exceed 15 minutes. His communication with his legal team is constrained by limited hours. He gets access to a laptop solely for legal review between 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m. every day. Add in the lack of privacy and the constant noise and chaos of communal living, and it's clear just how dramatically different his day-to-day reality has become. The impact of this harsh environment is already startlingly visible. A court sketch from a recent hearing captured a jarring image of Diddy. Gone was the iconic mogul with immaculate style and a perfectly maintained presence. Instead, the sketch revealed a man who seemed weathered by his confinement. His hair, once jet black, was depicted as entirely grey, longer and more unkempt than fans have ever seen. His face appeared thinner, his posture less confident, almost defeated. The change was so significant that it left many questioning what kind of toll these conditions are taking on him, both physically and mentally. For someone used to controlling every aspect of his environment, MDC offers no such luxury. The facility operates with strict regimentation, wake-up calls, mealtimes, recreation periods, all dictated by the institution. Even small freedoms like choosing what to wear or deciding what to eat are non-existent. Meals are basic and repetitive, often criticized for being nutritionally inadequate. Compare that to Diddy's previous lifestyle of curated menus and personal chefs, and the stark contrast is hard to overstate. The monotony, coupled with the suffocating lack of personal agency, can wear down even the most resilient individuals. And while many speculate about his mental state, there's little doubt that going from private jets to this level of confinement must be profoundly disorienting. But Diddy's plight isn't just about his own experience. MDC's past is filled with cases that demonstrate a larger systemic issue. Inmates have long reported being subjected to overcrowded cells that feel more like cages, with some units holding over double the intended capacity. The facility's infrastructure is outdated, with broken systems that leave inmates reliant on temporary fixes that rarely address the core problems. Time after time, external investigations have uncovered failings that expose the cracks in the system, problems that don't just affect Diddy but thousands of others who pass through these walls. While we can only imagine how someone like Diddy is adapting to these conditions, his visible transformation speaks volumes. It's not just the graying hair or the weight loss, it's the complete erosion of the carefully curated image that has defined him for decades. Fans who've caught glimpses through courtroom sketches or second-hand reports are shocked by what they see, and the question on everyone's mind is whether he'll come out of this situation the same person, or if the experience will fundamentally change him. Behind the scenes, murmurs are growing about the legal moves being made to mitigate his situation. His legal team isn't just fighting the charges, they're also making waves about the conditions he's enduring. Quietly but firmly, a parallel battle is brewing, one with stakes not just for Diddy, but for the spotlight it puts on the very practices and policies that allow places like MDC to function as they do. As the public conversation grows, the focus will inevitably shift to how these harsh realities intersect with his legal defense. For now, however, we're left with the startling image of a man who embodies success, wealth, and power, reduced to being just another inmate in a broken system. Behind bars, the fight isn't just for freedom, it's for survival. And for Sean Diddy Combs, survival hinges on more than enduring the physical hardships of incarceration. His legal battle has evolved into something far deeper, far more personal. Every motion filed, every argument made is part of a desperate chess game where one false move could put both his freedom and reputation in checkmate. At the center of this unfolding courtroom saga is one key piece, the unpublished memoir of Diddy's former girlfriend, Cassie. Her account has played a crucial role in the charges he's facing, but Diddy's legal team is scrutinizing the details. They've pushed hard for access to every draft, journal entry, and email related to the memoir, arguing that these documents could contain inconsistencies that might weaken the prosecution's case against him. The judge recently granted them access to early drafts of the memoir already obtained by prosecutors, signaling a small but significant win for Diddy's defense. The stakes couldn't be higher, as any discrepancy uncovered in Cassie's narrative could shift the balance in this high-stakes battle. But for Diddy's team, these minor victories are countered by roadblocks that complicate their strategy. A key setback came when their request for Cassie's personal journals, emails, and financial records was denied. The judge's ruling now limits their ability to dig deeper into potential evidence that might expose contradictions or, as they claim, reveal a financial motive behind her allegations. Adding another layer of complexity, Diddy's lawyers allege that Cassie once informed him of the memoir's existence and even tried to sell it to him for $30 million to prevent its publication. If true, the defense argues, this could raise serious questions about her motives. But without access to these additional records, they're left trying to make their case with one hand tied behind their back. This legal fight feels like a chessboard where every piece comes with its own traps. The courtroom has already seen its fair share of tension, with accusations flying both ways. Prosecutors claim that Diddy has attempted to manipulate witnesses and shape public opinion from behind bars, allegations that his legal team fear fiercely denies. These charges, if proven, could deal a devastating blow to Diddy's credibility, not just in court, but also in the court of public opinion, where perception matters almost as much as the law. To make things harder, there's a time crunch looming over everything. Judge Aaron Subramanian has been clear about the urgency of the proceedings, stating, "We are a freight train moving towards trial, with jury selection set for late April and the trial scheduled to begin in early May. Neither side has any room for error. Every piece of evidence, every maneuver in court now carries extra weight as the clock ticks down to what could be the defining moment of Diddy's life. The intensity of the legal strategy is matched by the spectacle unfolding outside the courtroom. As reports about Cassie's memoir take center stage, rumors and speculation fill the gaps where official evidence is scarce. Paparazzi photos, interviews with people close to the situation, and leaked tidbits keep public interest high. And while Cassie claims her story is one of survival and truth, Diddy's team is doing everything they can to paint her allegations as exaggerated, biased, or driven by ulterior motives. The unpublished drafts of her memoir hold the potential to either vindicate her claims or cast doubt on them entirely, a tug-of-war over credibility that has amplified the stakes for both sides. But what makes this case feel even more like a chess match is the unpredictable nature of the rulings shaping each move. One notably strategic decision, the judge granting limited access to Cassie's drafts while withholding her personal records, has forced both the defense and the prosecution to recalibrate. For Diddy's lawyers, it's now a matter of extracting every possible angle from the materials they've been given. For the prosecution, it's about solidifying their narrative amidst allegations of witness tampering and motive-driven testimony. The courtroom drama, however, is only one side of the story. Outside those doors, Diddy remains locked away in the Metropolitan Detention Center, a place that could drain even the strongest resolve. Incarceration itself plays a role in shaping this trial, between the physical toll prison life is taking on him and the logistical restrictions on his interactions with his legal team. Every aspect of his defense comes with added challenges. The very conditions of his confinement, a unit with over 20 other inmates, limited access to communication, and minimal privacy for preparing his case, could influence how things play out as the trial date approaches. What's more, this case is shaping up to be about more than just Diddy. The intense media scrutiny, the allegations of systemic neglect at MDC, and the broader cultural questions raised by Cassie's claims all add layers to the narrative. This trial doesn't exist in isolation. It's happening in a landscape where the intersections of power, celebrity, and privilege are constantly being questioned. With April right around the corner, the legal maneuvers are becoming more aggressive, and the stakes are rising. Will Diddy's team find enough cracks in the prosecution's case to dismantle it? Or will the allegations, from accusations of manipulation to Cassie's detailed memoir, be enough to seal his fate? These next few weeks are critical, with jury selection standing as the first major step toward resolution in a case that has captivated public attention at every turn. As courtroom tensions escalate, one thing is clear: this isn't just a fight for personal redemption, it's a battle to control the narrative, protect a legacy, and survive a system designed to show no mercy. The outcome will be more than just a legal verdict. It could redefine Diddy's career, his reputation, and his future. Diddy's rise to a billion-dollar empire was built on power, control, and influence. But inside Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center, none of that matters. His story now shines a harsh light on a system designed to grind people down, where complaints about inadequate medical care and dangerous overcrowding are ignored daily. MDC has a long history of failing its inmates, and Diddy's high-profile incarceration is forcing these systemic issues into public view. What does this say about the treatment of countless others behind bars? With his trial approaching, Diddy's case might spark something larger, a conversation we've been avoiding for far too long.